Hello everyone, I am Gordon Frew from Fit as Fork, and I'm going to be covering the one thing that runs through all of your social media and marketing, and that is you. And if you're not right, I can guarantee you that leaks through all these slick marketing and strategy plans that you have. In the next 20 minutes or so, is something's going to change for you. I know that's quite a ballsy statement, but I'll tell you why I make it confidently. Because always, as in always, I get people coming up to me or messaging me after an event to tell me that they've made a decision or they've decided to change direction or change something as a direct result of hearing me speak, as in always. Now, one of the things that you'll have heard around all of this stuff that was going on today is you must find your why. What is your why? It's been rolled out continuously. What is your why? I'm sure you'll have heard it often. If you can only find your why, then everything else starts to click into place as if by magic. Really? For me, the first part of the puzzle is actually what is your it? Your it. The it's that make everything shit. Right, what do I mean by that? It's can be your husband or wife or partner hates what you do. They can't and they won't support you on your business journey. And that's an it that needs resolved. One way or the other, before your why can even apply. Or perhaps you've got a business partner, but you feel you're the one that does all the heavy lifting and they don't pull their weight. That is an it that needs dealt with. Or your why often becomes a waste of time. Perhaps you're under pressure financially, but you keep it all to yourself. That's what we do, don't we? We keep it all to yourself, and maybe your it is you're waiting on catching a break. You're waiting in the cavalry turning up. You're waiting in a fairy godmother. Those aren't coming. I'm sorry to let you know, they are not coming. That's an it that absolutely kills your why. So we all have its in business, in life. It's dealing with them that makes the difference. You've got to deal with them head on. And the more you tackle your its, the easier life becomes. And therefore, the easier business becomes and the easier your marketing becomes. Finding it and applying it to your why then becomes much easier. So it's it before why. The more it's you deal with, the whole social media game becomes so much easier. And because you are in a better place and you're not dealing with all those its or running in the background. So deal with your its before your whys. In terms of social media, a bit of advice that I would like to pass on is how you frame social media and how you frame this whole thing. It's helped me a lot. And the thing that's helped is social media is a sport. It's not real life. Treating it as a sport really helps to reframe it. I've had people take pops at me on my posts, and it can get to you. And it's not healthy if you let this stuff get under your skin. Things like who made you the expert, because I've had a career change with Fit as Fork. Who made you the expert? Me, I did. The results I get people made me the expert. Usually it's from people with PT after their name or nutritionalists having a pop. Usually because they see where I'm going and that's where they wanted to be. So instead of doing something about having no clients, it's much easier just to have a pop at me. Who's this guy? Let's have a pop at him. You cannot let that get to you when you're stepping out. It's easy to do so, but let me tell you, it comes with the territory. This sort of stuff comes with the territory. And when you start getting that stuff, do you know what it is? It's a sign that you're going in the right direction. I was recently at the airport with someone and they posted on social media. Now, they took 5-10 minutes getting this post all right. And then they spent the next 30 minutes analysing it and going over it. Just put your content out there and get on with the rest of your day. Trust me, it's much easier to deal with this when you frame it as nothing more than a sport. In the grand scale of things, it really isn't that important. In fact, one of my most successful posts in terms of pounds and pence and people coming to work with me was actually saying, well, I am not a personal trainer, I am not a nutritionalist, but if you want results like these, and I showed my results, then give me a shout. Tell people what you're not just as much as telling people what you are. Ultimately, with this stuff and putting your message out, people want the result that you offer. People want the outcome. They're much less interested in how it all happens or what they learn. It's the outcome or the result people want. So have a wee look at that on your marketing. But back to you and the things that will help you along your business journey and throughout your marketing. And a couple of things I want to cover. Things like worry. It's one of the things that's almost guaranteed for a business owner, isn't it? How you manage worry will go a long way in how this all plays out for you. So let me give you a few examples. You've got a problem in life or business? No. So why would you be worrying about stuff? That is a very good spot to be in. You've got a problem in life or your business? Yes. Can you do something about it? Yes. So why would you worry? Go and do the thing you can do about it. You've got a problem in life or business? Yes. Can you do something about it? No. Then why would you worry? There's nothing you can do about it. So worrying just makes today miserable. It doesn't solve anything. It's dead simple. It takes practice, but why worry? Why would you be worrying about stuff? What you'll never hear is, oh, yes, all this stuff has happened. It's okay. I just worried my way out of it. It's never happened. Nobody has ever said, oh, all this stuff's going on. I just worried my way out of it. It never happens, and it never will happen. So why, that's that word again, why would you worry? The source of worry or problems is usually control or lack of it. You have lost control of a situation. Here's a slightly scary thing to find out. You are always in control, always, even when you're not, or certainly even when it feels like you're not. Let me explain. Events happen, shit happens, and there's an outcome. But the sweet spot in the middle that we often don't realise is how we respond to shit happening often changes the outcome. I'll give you a few situations that this doesn't apply to. If you're in a plane and the pilot comes on and says, buckle up, we're about to crash into a mountain, you're fucked. Your response will not alter that in the slightest. However, once you start clocking that the bit between the event, stuff happening, and the outcome, the part where you get very clear on how you're going to respond to things, including your marketing, including reacting to things on social media, once you're focused on that bit in the middle and on the outcome you want, things change. It does take practice, but once you start looking for it, you start to take that control back. I would like to, my area is health, well-being, weight loss, food and fitness. Let's take a look at that and the power of marketing and its impact potentially on your health. I want to have a wee look at the role of fizzy and sugary drinks. Just hear me out, and it gives you an idea of the power of getting marketing right. Now, sugar has been in our diet for centuries, and I, for one, am not a sugar basher. It is, however, smart to clock your consumption. The consumption of sugar is fattening and has been universally agreed since the 60s, 70s. The message got lost a wee bit and a bit blurred when low fat became the thing that got pushed as the cure. Fat became the devil's work. Yet here we are. If you look around, we've never been more unhealthy, overweight, unfit as a species. Sugar consumption exploded from the 70s to the noughties. Type 2 diabetes rates followed. Fizzy, sugary drinks are the biggest source of sugar in Western diets. It's a multi-billion-pound industry, and that's why they can throw all that money and all that influence at advertising and marketing. In the 70s, sales doubled of fizzy drinks. In the 80s, they overtook the consumption of water. By the noughties, these drinks made up a third of our sugar intake. No other source of food or liquids comes close to that. You also have the growth of the energy drink sector over the past 20 years. And I know we're all sick of graphs just now, but if we were to plot the growth in sales of sugary drinks against obesity rates, the evidence is completely clear. But then came the political pressure, the sugar taxes, laws passed to limit junk food drink sizes. So what did the guys like Coca-Cola and Red Bull, what did they do? Because ultimately that started impacting their bottom line. Tell you exactly what they did. They targeted the Asian market, and the exact same thing played out. Type 2 diabetes exploded in China. The number of people in China with type 2 now exceeds the population of Australia. It's the biggest source of sugar in Chinese diets, fizzy drinks. Before that advertising and marketing onslaught in the Asian market, less than 1% of the population had type 2 diabetes. Now it's 12%. And that is the power of marketing and getting your message out, be it right or wrong, be it good or bad for you. So anyway, back to you. Stress. Let's talk about stress. I want you to think of your most stressful day, not your worst. Those are things like bereavements and things like that. Your most stressful day in maybe a work environment, your 10 out of 10 stressy work day. Not necessarily work environment, but your 10 out of 10 stress. Mine is easy to remember. Mine was delivering my son in the back of a car because he thought it would be a good laugh not to wait till we got to hospital. Let me tell you, that was a wonderful laxative. That is stress. That is my 10 out of 10 stress day. And I've got that locked in. So now when stuff builds up, I stop and I compare it to that day, that 10 out of 10 stress, and see whatever it is that has been building. It's never turns out to be more than a 3 and rarely over a 5. So think about your 10 out of 10 stress day, get it locked in, and then use that as your stress guide. It's great for perspective. So when a spreadsheet's not working or playing up, if a social media post you got all excited about and landing with your audience gets no traction, it really, really is no biggie. Oh, and I come back to a parking ticket on that. So my son had been costing me money from day one. But it's worth doing. Get that 10 out of 10 stress day locked in. Another thing that's helped me massively is being able to deal in the real. Despite being in business for over 20 years, it took someone else to teach me this. His name is Crosley. Go and check him out. So what I used to do, I used to be a world champion at saying, if this happens, then that will happen. If that happens, I will say that to him. If I say that to him, he'll probably say that back to me. If he says that back to me, I'll do this. All of a sudden, I am now 5 things deep into things that don't exist. Things I have created, conversations I've created. And do you know what? Your brain cannot solve those. That's the stuff that keeps you awake at night. I need you to have a bit of confidence in yourself and in your own abilities to solve things, but only once they are real. Deal in the real. There's a big learning in that one as well. So another thing I want to talk to you about, especially when it comes to social media, is time and how you spend it. Let's not fuck about. The importance you place in something can be measured by the time you're willing to spend on it. I'm going to repeat that. The importance that you place on something can be measured by the time that you are willing to spend on it. Don't tell me you want to build a successful, sustainable business, but spend all your time messing about on Facebook and telling yourself, oh, I'm working on the business, oh, it's my marketing, when you're actually fucking about. It's a bit like people that come to me and say they want to lose 3 stone, but they don't spend any time on the things that would shift that timber. The only person you fool with the use of your time will you, and it's back to that control thing. You're in complete control of that stuff. What I do want to introduce to you is this. This is my fuck it bucket. Every office, home needs one of these. You also need to learn that once something goes in there, it never comes back out. You might need a very big one, maybe squeeze in an ex, maybe squeeze in an old boss, maybe squeeze in people that have fucked you over on your business journey, but you do need a fuck it bucket. I actually got my daughter to make this. So there's some seriously questionable parenting, but she still rates it as her best art project. She even initialed it like a proper artist. So just accept that some of your marketing is going to end up in there. It's going to end up in there. But I'll tell you what, it's better ending up in there than you never having put your content out at all. In terms of priorities, I like to talk about priorities, and I always try and cover this when I speak. Most people have three main things going on, three main priorities: family, business or work, and health. And what I usually do if we were face-to-face just now, I would get you to put your hands up. Give me a show of hands whose number one priority is the family. Now, usually 90%, perhaps more, hands go up in the air. And then I'll say, tell me if your business is your number one priority. Nobody has ever put their hand up in the air, ever. And then I'll say, tell me if your health is your number one priority. And a few hands go up. A few hands go up at that because they know where I'm going with it. They've worked it out. I also ask, tell me, put your hand up if you've put your hand up twice, and there's always a couple of sneaky ones in there. The typical order is people go family, business, health. For some, it's business. And I get that, to provide for your family. But I see so many people getting it twisted. Their health's poor because they've sacrificed it for these other things. Let me tell you, if your health is poor, who is going to look after your family? And if your health is poor, business unravels very, very quickly. Health is, should, and always should be your number one priority. Please get that one right. It is crucial to your business journey. So, what did all this have to do with sheep shagging? Well, I was once asked for a piece of Scottish wisdom that perhaps people hadn't heard before. So I said, you only need to shag one sheep to be a sheep shagger. What? You only need to do it once. Just like you only need to hit your wife or partner once and you become a wife beater. You only need to steal something once and get caught. That's the key, getting caught. And you're a thief. You only need to let someone down once, and forever you're going to be a letdown to that person. Your content, your social media posts, the marketing you put out there only needs to come across as racist or homophobic or similar, sexist, abusive once. It only needs to be out there once, and it's out there. Don't kid yourself, you can delete stuff. It will be screen grabbed within a split second. And the same goes with messages, DMs. There's never a private message. There is never a private message, especially when you're climbing the ladder, especially when people see you getting ahead. They will screen grab it and they will use it that you said X, Y, and Z. So you only need to do it once. You only need to shag one sheep to be a sheep shagger. Remember, when you're stepping out, it's your reputation. Guard it, have fun with it, get out there, but be mindful. It only needs to happen once. So, you and getting you right, dealing with your stuff, it runs through all of this. It will run through your business, it will run through your marketing, and it will run through how you feel on this journey. Make sure you are doing as much work as you can on yourself as much as possible. I'm Gordon Frew from Fit as Fork. Come and say hello, connect with me in socials, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.